welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, welcome. So today's video is a vlog about writing. Shocking. Yeah. So I wanted to give you guys a little update about how Project Gold is coming. I have been working pretty consistently on it, which is nice, although I did miss, I think, 2 or 3 writing days last week, so consistently but not perfectly. I'm making good progress. I'm still on track to finish by June 27th. I have to write about 1,300 words on weekdays and about 700 on weekends in order to hit that goal. Well, not weekends, on Saturdays. I don't write on Sunday. Yeah, but I'm still working on that. I'm feeling good about my outline for the most part. There will be kind of the ending. I don't know how it's going to quite pan out. I know a lot about it, but I don't know like the on paper details. I know what it's going to be, but I don't know how I'm going to execute it. Okay. So I'm getting to the point where I'm actually thinking about the ending, which is nice. That's nice. Way better than thinking about the midpoint, I will tell you that. If you missed it, I was really stuck for a long time. If you're new here, I basically was spinning my wheels for like months on this project. So yeah, it's nice to be moving again. Yeah, in addition to working on Project Gold, I still have Project King in the background, but I haven't really been working on it. I'm hoping to kind of bring that back to life this week because I don't want to lose my place. Yeah. I like working on multiple projects is a little bit tricky because there is an actual genuine risk of like having to reread the project after it's been sitting for too long, which isn't a big deal except that it takes forever when you have long fantasy projects, and it's just like I don't want to waste the time redoing the same thing. So I'm gonna work. Maybe I can get through my current chapter this week. That's my hope. It is currently Tuesday, and today's not going to be a big writing day. I have to drive to the airport and pick up my husband. He's on a work trip. But he'll be home by the time this goes up. I actually get weird about internet safety. Anyway, yeah, so today, because I don't feel like starting writing before I do my drive, I have been kind of doing, I have a sticky note army that's been building up over time. Like, it really has. I'm going to pick up the camera and see if I can't show you. So if I leave any of that in, on the top, in the frame, is my Kanban board. And that is how I'm tracking my progress in Project Gold and my progress in Project King. Below that is my sticky note army. So it has been slowly growing with ideas and plans and like, ooh, I forgot to write one down. And I can't even find the right pen. I have colored pens on my desk. Yeah. So I have been compiling 4 to-do lists based on those sticky notes. One is general author stuff. That's stuff like I'm really hoping to increase my engagement on YouTube. There's not a lot of comments on my videos, so I'm not sure quite what I'm doing that's not quite right there. Yeah. So I might try and change up my content a little bit. If you guys have ideas of what you'd like to see, please share that below. I would love to kind of cater to you. Yeah. And then I haven't been on Google Play, which when I published my debut last year, I found Google Play Very annoying to try and get my book on. They were a little bit hesitant. They were like, we don't have proof this is your book. I literally had the copyright. Anyway, I was frustrated. I was overwhelmed. I just decided I'm just not going to do Google Play. Who cares? Amazon has like 70% of the market. So, I didn't put my book on Google Play. Come to find out recently, like with the changes that Google has made with their search thing, relying so heavily on AI, not being on Google Play might be hurting me, just in the fact that it makes my book less findable because it's not all keywords now. Sometimes it's where's your book. So like I've been trying to research it, so I'm not 100% clear. But from what I understand, rather than a search function being keywords based, if people are searching for your book on ChatGPT or on Google or on whatever AI people are trying to use to replace search engines, my opinions about AI aside, they are not keyword based. It's based on like how many places on the internet your book shows up. So since Google has their own, they're probably weighing more heavily YouTube and Google Play. So if I put my book on Google Play, it's more likely to pop up when someone searches for Showing Silver. So that is one of my to-dos. I also want to update my Author Central profile on Amazon. I know a lot of people are not very happy with Amazon right now. I have my books wide, which means they're available more places than just Amazon. I'm not a Kindle Unlimited author. I say books. I have one up. But more are coming. But I'm not planning to be a Kindle Unlimited author. For me, I don't want the exclusivity, so I'm just not going to do it. But my books are still on Amazon. You can get the ebook, you can get the other thing, the print book, paperback. This is what the paperback looks like. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on Amazon is actually the only place I currently have my paperback. I have been thinking about changing that. When I put it up, I was pretty convinced that Amazon had the highest print quality, and I am no longer entirely convinced of that, so I want to look around. I might consider doing direct, but we'll see. I might do that when I actually have more books and not just the one. But currently Amazon is where you can get my paperback because of the print quality. And then I keep seeing people say that the print quality at Amazon is not great right now. So I don't know if it's regional variations, because I do live in an area where it's like you get your Amazon stuff pretty quickly here. So I don't know if it's but the ebook I have wide, just not in Google Play. I have it on Amazon, Apple, Kobo. What's the other one? BarnesandNoble.com. And that is just the ebook. So Kobo has a thing that competes with KU, except it's not exclusive. So Kobo Plus, you can actually read my book for free. And I know I'm talking about my book specifically, but I'm more talking about like the reasons why. So I'm not trying to right now sell you my book. I'm just trying to explain my thought process as an author. Anyway, so I have the general author list. I have things I want to update for Showing Silver, like stuff that I've learned to do better. I want to put Amazon A+ content, which is just like the cool images and stuff you see on some books on Amazon. I want to put an FAQ section on my website. Again, that's not really, that's mostly to make it more AI searchable. And then, I mean, if readers find it helpful, yay. But part of it is honestly AI searchability. Which hurts me a little bit because I am not a fan. Yeah, but readers are finding books that way, so. What else do I want to do? There's a couple things that are just like little marketing things I want to do. I didn't really have comp titles when I published. I didn't know how to find them. And I think I've kind of figured that out, like going off keywords, looking at like Instagram posts about books and seeing what people list as keywords that got them excited in the comment sections and being like, oh yeah, that applies to my book. And then using those keywords to find books that match it works for me. Yeah, so I want to work on that. And obviously comp titles for my future books as well. So I have the Showing Silver list, I have the Project Gold list, I have the new series prep list, which after I publish Project Gold, I'm planning to start on my Kings series, which I do have a series title and the titles of 5 books, but I don't know if, in my head it's a 5-book series. We'll see how many it actually turns out to be, but I don't want to announce those titles, partially because it's so far in the future. If someone else uses one of the titles, I would like to be able to change it and not throw people off. And partially because if like naming conventions change before then for my genre, I may want to change the title. And that sounds really crazy. Like 200 years ago, if you're looking back on classic novels and you're like, what, I don't want that to have a different title, but if it was published today, it probably would. And that's, I sound crazy, but you understand what I mean. Yeah, so I've been working on my to-do lists today. Just kind of killing time. But I will pull up Project Gold and tell you like what I'm currently, how far I got in it. So I got through my midpoint, which I think was where I left off. I had started my midpoint scene. There's actually 2 midpoint scenes. So I wrote the first one, both halves of it. I started that character into, I've done like 3 scenes for that character in second half of the book. And then I guess I'm calling it Act 2B. And then I did the midpoint scene for another character. So everyone's in Act 2B. I'm at chapter 12. Chapter 12. 44,000 words in. I am gonna stop guessing how many words there are gonna be. I think my projection was 72,000 words, my most recent projection. But honestly, I don't know. Like, that's me just going off of the length of stuff. I think I tend to make the second half of my book a little faster, so it might come out closer to Showing Silver's length, which was around 60,000 words. Which, if it's shorter like that, my whole 1,300 words a day thing is actually incorrect. But we'll see. Also, sorry for clicking with the mouse. I know sometimes it affects the sound. But, yeah, that's where I'm at. I will try and update you before I post this video on Thursday. But I am going to have a more writing-heavy week, I think. I was actually really happy with my the lists I made my sticky note army a lot less scary because it was actually very simple lists. I just stuck up the reminders and then I kept sticking up reminders, and they were multiple colors with lots of words on them. Yeah. Oh, I forgot one. Okay. Uh, so I did not write very much the last couple of days. I think I got about 150 words yesterday. Now, granted, I've been digging into Project King, which I'm not tracking the words in. So I was looking through Project King, excuse the mouse sounds, sorry. And I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the chapter that I was hoping to finish. I got through the one scene that was the start of the chapter, but then there's 3 more scenes, and one of them turns out it is a much bigger rewrite than I had realized because I changed a lot of what it references. So I have to go through and make sure it's actually consistent with what's going on in the book, especially with the timeline, because the scene is kind of reacting to one that happens like 2 weeks earlier, and it doesn't make sense that they wouldn't have already reacted. So either I have to move the scene or completely rewrite it. I'm leaning towards rewriting it because I think the most recent scene I added actually has kind of more oomph to it. So that's what I'll be doing. And then I have one scene that's like a complete add-in that I have to write, and then one that is just kind of a tidy it up type thing. And then I'll be through chapter 17. Finally. Yeah, so I'm working on Project King and just kind of making small progress with that. And then Project Gold, I am excited because after I finish the scene that I started yesterday, which granted I didn't get very far, after I finish that scene, I will get to write about the squirrels that are in my blurb. I shared the blurb at some point. I did finalize that blurb for the back cover. I am way too excited to write about the squirrels. I don't know. I have teleporting squirrels. And okay, when I was a college student, we had these black squirrels on campus that I absolutely adored. They were so cute. And there was like a squirrel feeding club at my college, which sounds crazy. I think they had like a couple members. You shouldn't be feeding the squirrels, guys. But the squirrels on campus were very, very friendly because of that. So, yeah. I think of college, I think of cute squirrels. So I wanted to kind of put that in my book. And it's going in. And I've made them able to teleport because why not? I liked the idea. I mean, it's not really... I'm not going to dig more into it because digging more into it would be a spoiler. But there are squirrels that teleport. And it's interesting. Anyway, I'm excited to write about that. I'm excited to write, like... The scene that I'm getting through is kind of, like, informing the main character. And then I get to do, like, digging into stuff. The action is about to get more rolling. And I am just excited to be at that stage in the book where I can feel like I'm rolling towards the, climax. Which, I know, you think rising action, but I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it. Sorry, I just pounded on the table. I'm sure that did crazy things to the audio. But that's where I am. Yeah. So, again, thank you for watching. If you're a writer yourself, I would love to hear if you've hit any recent milestones in your own writing, or if you're building towards something. I'd love to hear about your projects. The comment section is open for that stuff. I definitely will look at all of the comments, at least if they're close to when the video comes out. Yeah, and I will see you next time. I think next week's video is, let me look it up, because I have them all planned out through the end of June. Next week's video will be about kind of indie publishing timelines and how that differs from traditional publication. So that one is more informative and probably hopefully helpful if you're either trying to decide between the two or if you've chosen indie publishing. You can't really impact your timelines if you're traditional. You just kind of have to go with what the publisher says. So, yeah. I'll see you next time.